Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Carol. Welcome, nice to meet you, and welcome back if you are a seasoned subscriber. Today's video is going to be my eye products collection, and I'm not going to be talking about the boring stuff like mascaras, liners, brows. I'm going to be talking about the fun color makeup. So it's going to be all eyeshadows in all of the formats, in all of the formulas, in all of the consistencies. So let's get started with what I have the least of, which is, interestingly, eyeshadow palettes. I don't really have a lot of eyeshadow palettes compared to many of the people that are on YouTube. I don't really love picking an eyeshadow palette. I used to be more into it in the past, but slowly but surely I'm moving away from palettes, and I'm really into creams and liquid eyeshadows, which you'll see a lot more of. In fact, I think more than half of my collection is cream to liquid eyeshadows. That's an interesting observation. But today's video is going to include everything. I'm going to start off with my eyeshadow palettes just because it's easier. I have in front of me, I think, 7 palettes, and then I have 2 quints, which basically means that they have 5 shades from Natasha Nuna, and I have 2 Kaja trios. I don't store them in the same area, so I'm going to show you all of the palettes that I have that are not quints or trios. I don't have quads, I don't really have duos, I don't think. So I think that it's just a sign for me to start showing you things, right? Alright, so the first palette comes from the brand Jade Cosmetics. Jade is local here in Israel, but you can get it internationally because they do have a website, an international website, I believe. But this one is the Velveteen eyeshadow palette, and I have it in the shade 49, the Spice Rack. This is how it looks. It has a bunch of warm tones. It's really, really pretty. And I love reaching for the shimmers in here, and this is a gorgeous, gorgeous transition shade if you're still doing this whole transition shade type of thing, like if you're using a matte in the crease and stuff like that. And what I love about this palette more than anything is that it has a dark shade for darkening your outer corner or for creating a liner, and it also has a shimmery inner corner shade if you love an inner corner shade, and I do. I love an inner corner shade. That is for sure something that I love to reach for. First palette. Second palette is another Jade one, but this one is limited edition, which means that you really can't get it anymore, but I'm going to show it to you nonetheless. This is the Jade Ecstatic palette, and it's by far my favorite Jade palette that they've ever come out with. I love the color story, I love the gorgeous shimmers, I love this beautiful matte red. It's so pretty, and this isn't exactly like pitch black, it's more like a charcoal, which is much more approachable in my eyes than a straight up black. I really love this palette, and again it has an inner corner shade, which is something that I highly, highly, highly appreciate. I love this palette, and I think that the quality here is really great. Next is the ABH Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam. I used to have the Modern Renaissance at one point. I will not lie to you, I don't love ABH palettes. I just don't. I never really feel this desire to reach for them, but because of this insane hype, I always feel pressured to purchase ABH palettes, and I just, every time I buy them, I open them and I'm like, ooh, they're really pretty, like this is really pretty, but I just don't know why I don't reach for this formula, and I don't reach for this palette, although some shades are really, really beautiful and completely up my alley. But I don't know, if I had to get rid of one palette today, I am 90% certain that it would be the Soft Glam, which just hit my head, so it deserves to be decluttered. But I'm not decluttering anything today, not yet. I'm not sure how I feel about decluttering an eyeshadow palette when my eyeshadow palette isn't necessarily massive, you know. Maybe I will declutter it if I either get the, what's his name? I really don't know, but there's like this beautiful something daddy. I can't remember what his name is, but there's like this beautiful neutral palette, or the Patrick Ta palette. Although the Patrick Ta palette has two cream shadows, and I'm not sure how I feel about cream shadows in a palette. I love cream shadows separately, but in a palette that's a bit of a different story. Anyway, let's stop rambling and move on to the next one, which is an absolute classic. This is the this is the KVD Shade and Light Matte Palette. There used to be like a glimmer version of this. I have the matte version, and I used to reach for this palette all the time. This was like a go-to palette for me, and some shades have massive dents in them. Nothing has a pan, but some of them have huge dents. That being said, although I do see a lot of value in having this in my collection and I don't want to declutter it, I just haven't found myself reaching for it particularly, mostly because I'm not really reaching for matte shadows at this point in my life. That could definitely change, and I definitely don't want to get rid of this palette. I think the formula is great and the colors are very easy to use and very approachable, but I'm just not into it at the moment. Okay, now we're talking about palettes that I really love. First being the Huda Beauty Nude palette. This palette is gorgeous, and this is like one of those palettes that I always reach for whenever there's a special occasion. It's absolutely beautiful. I keep my palettes clean, right? The only palette that is not clean is the Anastasia one, but that's not even because of me. My cousin actually had like a liquid liner incident with the outer suede. It's not even suede, like velvet, but I keep my palettes clean. I love clean makeup. This is beautiful. This is what I always want to reach for anytime I'm trying to create a special occasion type of look. I love this color. I love this color story. I think it's very feminine, very pretty, very easy, and very flattering. And on my brown eyes, it's beautiful. I feel like purples and pinks on brown eyes are really nice. Alright, next up are my Natasha Nuna palettes. I have two midi-sized palettes. I have the ABH Glam palette, which is probably my favorite one of the two that I have. This is so beautiful. The shimmers are perfect, and the only critique that I would have is that I wish that there were more mattes. But that being said, there is about 5 mattes in here, which is basically a third of the palette. I just wish that some of the mattes were more taupe and less brown. But that being said, I love this palette, and for the fact that I'm not really into mattes as of late, I shouldn't be complaining. The shimmers are gorgeous, and this palette is so pretty. I absolutely don't regret purchasing it. And my second larger but not super large palette from Natasha Nuna is the bronze palette, and this one is also really beautiful, and I love the shimmers here, and I love them because layered over top of my cream eyeshadows, they take them to a whole new dimension. They're beautiful. I love the shimmers in here. Some of them are a bit dark and aren't shades that I would use on the daily, but that being said, I love it nonetheless, and I love reaching for those shimmers. They're beautiful, they're gorgeous, and I just adore them. Okay, moving on, let's talk about some of my some more powder eyeshadows. We're gonna leave creams for last. Okay, so since I already alluded to my Natasha Nuna Quints, let's talk about them quickly. I have, which is probably like my favorite palette in my entire collection, this is the Mini Glam. I love the Mini Glam more than the bigger Glam palette. I adore adore the mattes on both ends of the palette, and I mean the shimmers. I love this shade. If I were to use a shimmer shade today and tomorrow and every day of the week, I would love to reach for this matte. This matte is so beautiful. I won't lie, I might have used this and this. I might have used both of them maybe like 3 times, but I have used these 3 so much, and I love them so much. This on the lower lash line makes for the best lower, like almost natural smoky lower lash line, especially if you have yellow undertones. It's gorgeous. This palette, I cannot recommend it highly enough. It's perfect, it's beautiful, and it's my favorite. Okay, next is the mini Glam. When I saw the maxi Glam, let's just call it maxi Glam, I was confused because this, I mean, like, this definitely does not resemble the larger one, and the larger one definitely doesn't resemble this. But that being said, this one, in my opinion, is 10 times more beautiful than the maxi retro. What was I saying? This is the mini retro, and that one is the bigger retro. They don't look alike at all. This, in my opinion, is prettier, and the shimmers again are gorgeous. Even this makes for a beautiful like outer corner lash line type of thing, even like under the lower lash line. This makes a gorgeous shadow, even if you only want to create a matte look, and this will be like the lid color, and you'll just like blend it in. It'll be like a one and done. Oh wow, it's so pretty. I love these. I mean, like, in my eyes, the quality of these is as good as the quality of the bigger ones, but I feel like because the color story has to be curated, these are easier to approach, and they're easier to reach for on the daily because you don't really have to think a lot. Just like take 1 or 2 of these shadows and just apply them and head out the door. I love these, I do. Okay, now let's talk about my Kaja trios. I only have 2. I would love to have more, but because Kaja doesn't ship internationally, I either have to wait for someone to come here from the States, for one of my family members, or I have to travel there myself, or I have to ask them to ship it. But it's just not a necessity for me to have it shipped. That being said, let's talk about what I have, right? Okay, so I have the shade Glowing Guava, which is this beautiful pinky kind of Huda Beauty nude type of condensed trio palette. I'm not sure, but there are 2 mattes and 1 shimmer. This is one of the best mattes that I have in my collection because it's so easy to use. This is gorgeous. I was watching, I think it was probably like my 2020 favorites video, and I was wearing this on my eyes, and I looked at my eyes and I was like, that was a good eye makeup look. What is it that I was wearing? And then I mentioned it. I was like, I miss this. It's beautiful. I miss this palette overall, and I definitely miss that shimmer. And this is absolutely beautiful on the outer corner, and also on the lash line. Love it. But the next one is probably one that gets a lot more hype than Glowing Guava, although I'm not going to say that I prefer Glowing Guava, but I love Glowing Guava. But this one is Orange Blossom, and these are the gorgeous shades. This is absolutely stunning. I'm not going to swatch any of them today because if I start swatching, we're going to be here until 2023. Okay, this next one is absolutely beautiful. It's like this gorgeous orangey gold. Delicious. But finally, this is absolutely stunning. And if you have the Vanessa Myricks Color Fix in Celebration. If you top it with this, oh my gosh, you are going to have the best ever eye look. The best ever. Okay, now I only have 3 high-end single eyeshadows. The first one is the Natasha Nuna top coat. This is the Chroma Crystal top coat in the shade Nude. I will have to say that this is a bit disappointing because it's really, really dry and it's kind of hard, and in order for me to get the look that I want, I feel like I have to build it up more than I expected. But that being said, the end result is really pretty. So, I mean, like, make of that what you will. If you are willing to put in the work, and it's not too much work, it's just a lot of building up, then it's worth it. But if you are one of those people who just want to get the effect immediately, you're just not going to. Same thing almost goes for the Ritual Defeat Ash and Ember eye set, and I have the shade Cultist. Listen. I love the fact that I finally bit the bullet and purchased myself a shade, and now I want another. I mean, there are 2 that are really, really appealing to me, but I'm not going to say that I'm not going to pick them up, because I might this month. But if I end up buying a Pat McGrath palette, then I'm going to hold on and not buy any more eye products until the end of the year, because they're pricey. They're really, really pricey. That being said, these are gorgeous, and this is a gorgeous, like, cool toned Natasha Denona Glam palette type of vibe shade. It's gorgeous and I love it. But you are going to need to use your fingers if you want to get the fullest opacity, and then blend with a brush. If you go ahead and start with a brush, you're not going to get the opacity that you want, and you might have to build it up quite a bit. That being said, I mean, unlike the Natasha Nona one, which is supposed to be a top coat, so I want it to be sheer, and this is supposed to be a shadow, but it doesn't really deliver a shadow with your brush. Because of the versatility of getting the shine without getting the pigmentation, if I wanted to, and the ability of getting the pigmentation with the shine, I prefer this. I do. That probably didn't make any sense to anyone, but in my eyes and in my head, it made total sense. Okay, then we have the Tarte Chrome Paint in the shade Fire Dancer. This is, it's a bit difficult to open. Wait a second, come on, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with me? Why can't I open a single shadow, right? Okay, this is how it looks. It's gorgeous. I believe I had a video, like a Shop My Stash video, where I used this. Girl, it was gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, moving right ahead, let's talk about my very few ColourPop singles. I have 4, like, single powder shadows, and 1, what is it called? This is called the Super Shock, right? I have the Super Shock Shadow Ultra Metallic in the shade Ritz. Gorgeous, and it's worth the hype that it gets. Oof. Look at that sheen. It speaks for itself. And it's beautiful, and I love it. And I like, if I wasn't put off by ColourPop in general, I would probably get more of these. But ColourPop has become off-putting to me. And that is probably not just me. I've heard many people say something similar to that. Okay, then we have one of my favorite shadows from ColourPop, and I think this is called either Tea Party or something Lights. Hold on. Do I have an earring nearby or something? I probably have... Wait. How can I find out which shade I have. No. I'll write it here. This is the shade that I have. I love it. It's a beautiful duochrome. It shifts like from this gorgeous gold and reddy tone to this beautiful green. Really, really pretty. I even applied it yesterday on my eyes, but because I was wearing this gorgeous blue sweater, I didn't think it was appropriate to wear them together, but I do love the shadows so much. Next are my, you might think, what is Mary Luminizer doing in your eyeshadow collection? But this is what I did. I glued 3 ColourPop singles in here. I have the shade Glass Bowl, which is this, one of their best duochromes. I have the shade Snake Eye, which is a really nice kind of rose goldy shimmer. And I think this is called Paper Tiger, right? Is it called Paper Tiger? Yes. This is Paper Tiger, and it's a gorgeous like mustardy matte shade, and I love it a lot. A lot. Okay. Then I have 5 single eyeshadows from Kiko, and I love the Kiko single eyeshadow formulas because I have a few formulas in front of me. Let's start off with what I use on the daily, and it's my favorite inner corner shade, and it's the Kiko Smart eyeshadow in the shade 02. This is such a beautiful inner corner highlight. I take a very small pencil brush. Mine happens to be like a very old limited edition travel set from Smashbox, which for some reason I really can't find right now, but I promise you that it's supposed to be somewhere near. But nonetheless, this makes for a beautiful inner corner, and I love using it for that reason. Then let's talk about this newest formula to me that I love still. This is the High Pigment eyeshadow, and I have the shade 02. I happen to love the shades 02 apparently. This is a gorgeous like metallic, creamy but powder eyeshadow. It's beautiful, and it does work beautifully with your fingers, with a brush, you name it, it works great. And I believe that some of the eyeshadows in this formula are matte and others are shimmery. I happen to have a shimmery one, and I love what I have. I do. I love the shade in particular. Okay, then I have 3 of the long-lasting wet and dry use eyeshadow. I think I have one of them today. Do I? Yes, I do. This is the shade 235. This isn't what I have clearly today. It's absolutely beautiful, and these are so nice. If you haven't seen my review of Kiko Milano eyeshadows, I posted it on Sunday, maybe last Sunday or 2 Sundays ago, but this is gorgeous. This is a gorgeous formula, and you'll know why I love it in that video. Then I have the shade 200, which is, I think, no, this isn't what I have today. This isn't what I have today. I love this one so much. And then I have what I have on my eyes today, and it's the shade 208, and I have this over top of a different eyeshadow that I'll talk about shortly. Okay, next are going to be my Jade Cosmetics eyeshadows. I have 2. I have the Velveteen Metallic eyeshadow in the shade 221 Gold Gleam. And I love these for a very sparkly look, but the sparkles are really fine, much more finer than the ColourPop ones, for example. And I think that if we're comparing Sparkles, these are probably going to be the finest sparkly bits, sparkly particles. Then I have the shade Champagne, which to me doesn't really look like a champagne kind of color. Looks like a taupey purple, but that's just me. That could be just my eyes. I love these because they are very, very fine and they provide an overall glow without providing texture, but it just looks like an overall glow. And I sometimes prefer that over like a textured eye look. Okay, then we have the Melted Chromes from Essence. I have two. I have the shade Warm Bronze. I love it. I love it a lot. I don't remember which video I have when I was wearing this, but I loved my eye look. I love using my finger, rubbing them and just like smearing it on my eyes and then taking a blending brush and running it across the outer edges. Oh, my feet fell asleep. A very uncomfortable feeling, right? Okay, and then I have the shade Think About You. Wow, I even have a Get Ready With Me featuring this. Stunning, stunning, stunning. And if you really love a metallic eyeshadow and you don't really feel like investing so much, these are very, very affordable and they are spectacular. Alright, so this concludes all of my powder eyeshadows. Yay! Let's move on to my creams. And I have a lot more creams than I do powders. I got cold, so I put on a sweater. But let's move on. Okay, I know that I can't really hear you, but I have this situation right here. And I also have this. This is a lot more messy and it's a lot less products. And I think we're gonna start here. Okay, so I haven't tried this yet because it's a very statement color, but I'm looking forward to trying it eventually. This is the Maluka Made to Last Lipstick Eye and Lips. I didn't buy it for my lips, I bought it to try it on my eyes because I love the idea of a dofa eyeshadow type of thing. I am interested and intrigued. I have swatched it on my eyes 3 times and blended it. It blends beautifully. I have no idea about the longevity, but I am looking forward to trying it out one day. So I'll let you know if you're curious. Okay, then I have, let's do the proper liquids. Let's do the proper liquids now. I have 4 of my favorite matte liquid eyeshadow formula. And I am definitely talking about the Smashbox Always On Cream Shadow. I have 4 shades and I love them all. This one is called Guava, and this, if you are fast enough and you are diligent in blending, this makes for a gorgeous blush, lip color, and eye color. So this could be like a monochromatic look. Let me know if you'd like to see a video using this all over my face. I think that it's gorgeous in each and every way. Next shade is, oh my gosh, Sienna. Sienna is very sexy. Very sexy. It's a sexy eyeshadow. And it makes for a beautiful autumnal shadow. It makes for a gorgeous base for that tart chrome paint in Fire Dancer. This, over top of that, wow, the Drama Mama, oh, gorgeous. I love these. And I love them as a base, I love them on their own, I love them even not only on the eyes. This is the shade Taupe, and it's like in my shade, it's like in my lids but better type of shade. So beautiful. Finally is the shade Amber. Amber is another my lids but better, but much less cool toned, much more accurate and neutral than Taupe. It's not warm toned, but it's neutral. Okay, then we are going to talk about probably one of my favorite like discoveries of this year for sure. And we're talking about a brand, not just a product. And it's the Nessa Myrix. Oh my gosh, I love the Nessa Myrix. I love that woman and I love everything that she comes up with. Well, at least I only have tried 2 types of products. I tried the Vision Flush and I'm continuing to use and love the Color Fix. I have 3 formulas. I have the mattes, the metallics, and the foils. I have 2 foils, 2 metallics, and 1 matte. Let's start with the matte. And it's from the Nudes collection. And I have the shade 7. When I first bought it, I wanted it to be mustardy. But it's much more pumpkin-y than mustardy. But I'm fine nonetheless. I love these so much. They're so beautiful. But I feel like this is different in consistency than the one that I had initially. I had the shade Exposed. The shade Exposed was less runny than this. This feels a little bit more emollient. That being said, it still sets it in the same manner. It's still very matte and I do love these so much. They blend gorgeous. This shade is much more, for me, much more suitable than the Exposed shade. I was never really a fan of the Exposed shade, which is probably why I gave it away. And I also have the shade Taupe from Smashbox, which I prefer. Next is the metallic shade in the shade Iconic. The metallic Color Fix in the shade Iconic. On special occasions, if you want a smoky eye that is dark but not black, and it's appropriate for you to combine the color khaki in your like final look, this absolutely drop dead gorgeous. So beautiful. And it's such an easy color to use and such an easy formula overall. I love these, I do. Next is what I have as a base on my eyes, and I'm talking about the metallic in the shade Celebration. It's about time that I've tried the color Celebration. I've been hearing about it a lot, especially from Amanda Z, and I adore Amanda Z. Her recommendations are top-notch. Her techniques are really unique and beautiful, and she looks at makeup differently. She has a unique perspective, and she knows what she's doing when it comes to recommendations. I love Amanda Z and I love Celebration. I do. When I tried it, I was expecting it to be more shimmery. It's not as shimmery as Iconic, and that's for sure. But that being said, it's so flattering. It's much more easy to wear on the daily than I expected, which is a good thing, right? Because it's not so shimmery. Had it been more shimmery, I would have probably felt a little bit awkward wearing it regularly, but because of the fact that it's sheeny without being so shimmery, then it's very user-friendly and perfect for every day. Next, let's talk about the foils. I have 2. I have the shade Nebula. I love the shade Nebula. It's very beautiful for like an overall gold top coat type of situation. Chef's kiss. I love this. Finally, we have the color that I haven't really used on my eyes for a look yet. And I'm talking about the shade Milky Way. I am a little bit intimidated because this is really shimmery and I don't have an occasion to wear something like that yet. But I am looking forward to it. This seems absolutely beautiful, and I know that Hannah Louise Poston loves it, and I trust Hannah Louise Poston with so much, including makeup. And I can't wait to wear it. Okay, before we talk about the few products that are left in this drawer, let's finish up with all of the liquids, right? Okay. First one being this Kiko Milano Long Wearing Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade 03. Wow. Listen, This is really, really easy to use, very, very flattering, very long lasting, doesn't crease. If you're using a primer, clearly, and I highly recommend a primer, I use the Smashbox Always On. Wait, no, the Smashbox Photo Finish. It comes in a silver tube, small tube, not the face primer, but the eye primer. It's great. But this is incredible, especially over top of a primer. I haven't used without a primer because I just don't do my eye makeup without a primer. But trust me, a primer would make a world of difference. A world of difference. Now let's talk about the final two that are liquids. And they're both supposed to be glitter liners, but I use them as glitter top coats, and they're both from Urban Decay. They're the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liners. I have the shade Midnight Cowboy, and I have the shade Grind. I love the shade Grind because I love the song Grind from Alice in Chains. I love Alice in Chains. It's my favorite band. So sad that grunge is not really alive anymore, and the people that made grunge so great aren't. But at least we have their songs to continue to listen to and enjoy. But I love these so much, and I love creating a liner and making it kind of ombre glitter, from glitter to matte black. They're gorgeous. They're perfect. I love them. Then, last but not least, we have the crayons. And let me tell you, I have a ton of crayon liners. Let's start off with the brand Soft Touch, which I believe is a local brand here. And I have three ones from them. I have the shade, I actually don't know what shade it is because it doesn't say, does it? I don't think that it says what color it is, but regardless, this is a Soft Touch Kajal Touch eyeshadow, long lasting, waterproof, and it's this I almost dropped it. Hang on. This is a beautiful kind of baby pink, sheeny kind of color. I love these shades. I actually have another one because I was hoping that they would be more dissimilar, more different. Oh, sorry. I could no longer sit on my feet. Okay, I have two more. I have the Soft Touch Metal Touch Lip and Eye Stick, which I would never use on my lips because metallic lips make your lines so obvious and so unflattering, and I don't love that kind of look. Not on me and not on anyone else, to be honest. But I have the shade 402, which is kind of similar to what I showed you earlier. It's a beautiful, like, silvery pink. More pink than silver for sure. And I love using it in my waterline because of the fact that it's almost silvery. It doesn't give you this pink eye look, and it's easy to wear. Next is the color 404, and it's a beautiful, stunning coppery gold. This is one of my go-to products when I do makeup on other people because instantly when you apply these, everyone is like, oh, you did such a good job with my eye makeup. What did you do? And it's just this. It's so beautiful. Now, let's talk about my actual obsession. And I'm talking about my Kiko Milano long-lasting 8-hour no transfer eyeshadow sticks. I have 7? I have 7 of these and I love these. I have one today as a liner on both my upper lash line and my lower lash line, and it's the shade 606, which looks like this, and it's a gorgeous, almost like cool toned brown. It's really gorgeous. Then I have a lot of these, right? Then I have the shade 56. They probably have names, but when you're just like looking at the packaging, there's no name anywhere. This is a gorgeous cranberry, beautiful, beautiful cranberry shade. Really, 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 really special. And I imagined this for the winter, and for Christmas, wonderful. Okay, next is the shade 47, and 47 is a beautiful peachy golden champagne. Peachy champagne. Really, really, really stunning. I love these. I do. And if you want to hear my thoughts on these, watch my Kiko video. But it's safe to say that when somebody has seven of the same product in different shades, that's indicative of their feelings and how that's a review on its own. If somebody collects a product, there's no way that they're collecting something they hate, or they're collecting something that they're just like, fine, it's okay. They have to love it. Then we have the shade 5, which is probably the prettiest shade in the whole collection. It's like this beautiful rosy brown, gorgeous shade. Beautiful. It's like a mauvey brown. I don't have words to describe how much I love these. Then we have the shade 38, which is kind of like a gray mauve. Gorgeous still. Then we have the shade 54, which is an amazing, amazing waterline shade. If you want to make your eyes look bigger and you want them to look alert and not tired, this on the waterline. Do you even see that? Look, instantly it made my eyes look happy. Wow, I love this. I love this. It's one of my favorite eyeshadow crayons. And they last beautifully, both on your eyelid as well as on your waterline. Then we have the shade 55, which is, I know that I said that 5 is the prettiest, but this is my favorite because I love coppers. And you can tell that I've used this more than I've used any of the other ones. I adore a copper color, and this is absolutely perfect. Perfect copper. Then we have the shade 46, which is actually a duochrome. It shifts from this greeny color to kind of a purple. Should I swatch this? I'm gonna only swatch this because it's kind of a duochrome. Look at how, I'm not sure if you can see how it shifts. Oh yeah, I can definitely see it. Yes, it turns green. It goes from purple to green, and it's so beautiful. I love it. I do. But it's definitely like a statement. When you're wearing that, you are making a statement. Okay, next we have the Maluka ones, and I have 5 to report on, and I love all of them. I have the shade number 401, which is a matte black, because it is the best matte black in the waterline and in the upper lash line. Incredible. Lasts for the entire day, doesn't smudge, smear, collect in the inner corner, which is the worst. They're beautiful. Then I have the shade 406, which is a beautiful silver. I have the shade 405, which is a beautiful like silvery pink. How many times have I said silvery pinks since talking about my eyeshadow crayons? I clearly have a special place in my heart for these. Then I have the shade 403, which is a neutral gold. Actually, not warm toned. And then we have the shade 404, which is like a mauve bronze. It's a difficult color to describe. Mauve Taupe Bronze. I don't know, it's beautiful. That's all I can tell you. I love it. Okay, finally we have my Pupa Milano ones. I'm going to talk about the formula that I hate first because I want to get them out of the way. They're the only duds in my collection. But because the colors are really nice, I'm struggling to let go. These are the Cocktail Party Pupa. Do they even have anything else to say about themselves? Fresh Effect Eyeshadow. Close after use. I mean, who wouldn't? Okay, let's talk about these. I'm gonna actually swatch these. What is wrong with me? I'm swatching now. Okay, so this is the shade. Wow, this is so pretty. This is the shade 8 or 800. I really don't know. I mean, here we go. Let's build it up a little bit. Do you see that? It's literally right here. I can't tell because the viewer finder is tiny. But let me tell you why these are not good. These are tingly on the upper lash line and burning as hell in my waterline. If I apply them like I did with the Pupa Milano liner on my lower lash line, my eyes will turn red and they will start tearing up like nothing ever. They are terrible, terrible, but they make beautiful colors, which is the biggest drawback, which is the biggest disadvantage, the biggest loss. Look at that gorgeous copper. Oh my gosh, I even feel it on the back of my hand. They feel cooling, almost like a plumping gloss would feel, but it has no place to do that on the eyes. It's not fun. It's actually really irritating. But I will use these on the upper lash line, not on my waterline, that's for sure. I will die if these would touch my waterline. It would literally kill me. Okay, finally we have six final eyeshadow sticks, and they're all from Pupa. They are the made to last long-lasting stick eyeshadows. I love these so much. They are so perfect. This is the shade 26 and it's a stunning, stunning purple. Then we have the shade 15, gorgeous, gorgeous brown. Then we have the shade 14, which is a beautiful pinky brown, really pinky, very, very warm, almost reddy brown. Then we have the shade 5, which is a stunning silver. I love these. I love, love, love these. Then we have the shade 4, which is a beautiful, almost neutral brown, golden brown, but very neutral. And finally, one of my favorites is the color 25. It's a gorgeous gold with brown undertones. Nothing crazy. What do you want, Cookie? My dog is here. He's bored. He probably wants me to finish the video. Luckily, this was the last one. This was the last one, which means that I have to do some tidying up because this video is long and there are a ton of products in front of me. He went to sleep. Okay, he probably wants me to film a little bit more. Okay, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I really hope that it was informative and enjoyable. And I would love to know about your eye makeup collection. What do you have a lot of? Because clearly I have a lot of eyeshadow sticks. That's a weakness. I think I have 23 eyeshadow sticks. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 23 and 12, that's 40. 40 cream eyeshadows in all different consistencies and formulas. That is more, that's almost 2/3 of my collection. is made up of things like that. That is definitely very telling. I love me a cream shadow. I don't think that it's a secret anymore, but I mean, like, now that my secret is out, I should not be embarrassed about being featured on Hoarders for my cream shadows collection. I hope it doesn't grow further, but I make no such promises. But yeah, thank you so much for watching today's video. I'd love to know about your eye makeup collection. What do you have a lot of? What do you have very few products of? What do you think of my collection? What is something that you think, what is something you don't like that I have? And what is something that you don't have but you'd like to have? Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you soon. Bye.